drops and lariats from the top rope. You can't cope. The F'N Wrassling podcast in the house. Now that's dope. Starcade and SummerSlam all rolled into one. Drop kick, sleeper holes, 1, 2, 3, done. Whole mics like Mean Gene or Gordon Soley. I'm Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with that Crockett trophy. So listen closely as we approach the final hour in an instant. Hands raised, crowds phase without the time limit. F'N Wrassling podcast with that ultimate finish. Suplex, now you're ending. Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the show. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? I am JR. That right there is Chase, and this what you are listening to or watching is
F'N Wrassling.
Baby, we are back.
We're back. You know what? That's right. That's the chance. We got the Daniel Bryans. We got the S. Don't call this a comeback. I mean,
No, yeah, exactly.
I would technically, I would call this a comeback. It's been a bit.
It's 100% a comeback.
It's a comeback. You know, it's a comeback. It's not even like a season 2 comeback. It's like we got canceled and got renewed on another channel comeback. But you know what? The important thing is,
no,
we're
don't say that.
back.
Don't say cancel. We didn't. It's
I
just
didn't mean
season
cancel.
It's season 2.
You know
we got renewed for another season.
We're like Luther. Our seasons can be so far apart, and yet we're still great. We're like the BBC show Luther, and if you haven't seen that, it's amazing.
Incredible. Chase,
Dude,
what's up, man? How you been, man?
Dude, I've been very well. I started a new job. That was what caused the hiatus in the first place. Is I got out of the station, started a new gig, and that's going very well. I'm quite pleased. Punch with that. And creatively, I had some stuff going on. My the audio drama that I was working on while on the last couple episodes. It did very well, and we've submitted it to a couple festivals, and we came in. We've placed in a few of the festivals. We came in number 2 in one of them out of I think 171 entries to come in number 2. That's pretty cool.
Great, yo. That's great. That deserves some.
I got sound effects. And yeah, man, I got a comic book. I got a small story in a comic book coming out in next month. It's an anthology. It's an independent anthology thing, but it's pretty neat. Tales from the Cape Fear. It's all local writers and illustrators from Wilmington, and that's coming out I think end of April. I don't have notes on that, but you know what I have notes on? Some F'N Wrassling.
F'N Wrassling, baby. So so the show is back, and we kicked it off. We were able to watch AEW Revolution last night.
We did.
And just off the top, you know what I mean? First thoughts overall of the show, Chase. What do you think?
Dude, it was a brilliant piece of produced professional wrestling. That show top to bottom, like the more I got away with it, even the hairs and problems I did have just went away. I'm going top to bottom. This was a fun pay-per-view for I know they're not called that anymore, but for just like that terminology, for that spectacle showcase of storylines, this was top notch, man. There wasn't a bad match. Pre-show to main event, nothing fell short.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, as much as I hate Luchasaurus, you know what I mean. That
you can hate him all day long, man.
It was a good tag match, you know what I mean. And no matter how I feel, you know what I mean. That's the thing about one of the beauties about wrestling. Every fan can try to pick apart every little thing they want to. But were you entertained? Did you enjoy yourself? Did you have fun watching the show? That's what wrestling's all about.
Every minute of that.
I did last night watching AEW Revolution.
It was like the first time we actually got to watch a show where we weren't working, and we just got to sit there and just like go, hey, we can pay attention. We can just actually comment. We don't have to go, cool, all right, let's pause it and then like break the continuity or the momentum of the show. Yep. But and like I said, you are not a fan of Luchasaurus, and that's fine. That is fine. But the best thing about AEW and wrestling in general, AEW did a really good job of it last night with Revolution, was if you are not a fan of that, they had something that you were a fan of. If you weren't a fan of like this hardcore style, this like blood and guts stuff, they had a match for you. If you like high flying stuff, it was represented. If you're a big fan of women's wrestling, they had great matches throughout the night. If you like heavier gimmick stuff, it was all there. It was like Battle of Big Men and fly and flippy stuff. and brawlers and wrestlers. It was all there. In-ring storytelling and just like progressing storytelling. It was a great show, dude.
Yeah, it planted seeds. It planted seeds of, you know what I mean, things to come.
Yeah.
And, you know, new or extended rivalries and feuds and that kind of shit. So let's get into it.
It was a big coming out party for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people have like officially been made in AEW now. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's just hop into it, man. Where you want to start?
On the pre-show, let's just go through the pre-show real quick, which the pre-show was great. It was for a pre-show normally for a lot of pay-per-views and you know what I mean, on the pre-show.
It's throwaway.
It's usually just throwaway matches or matches that don't really mean much or matches that they might think aren't going to be that good or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Or if you're watching the AEW, or WWE, it's where you throw all your belts. If it's not a world or universal, that's just where the belt goes.
Yeah, U.S. title and the Continental belt gets
tag team. Isn't that sad?
But
you know what? That didn't happen here. Dude,
but either way. So first match was what the Layla Hirsch or Chris Statlander.
Yeah, that was the opening little match.
I'm a fan of legit Layla Hirsch, baby.
She's a great
heel. 4 foot nothing of just brick shit house, just violence.
Just mean. She just hits that like violence, man. Like you said, she just like was throwing Chris Statlander around. The fact she went over Chris Statlander kind of like really helped cement her as her own threat away from like. You know, I feel like that's one of the problems with AEW has is they'll build up stars, but they'll build them in a faction. So they kind of are these characters in an envelope almost, not an envelope, just kind of a bubble. And you know, you need to build characters away from one another. I don't mind factions, but not every member who's a heel needs to be a part of the same working factions or have connections. So the fact that, you know, you have Layla Hirsch, you have Jade Cargill, you have Britt Baker, and these are all like women who are technically heels right now, working their angles away from one another. It was really cool. It was a nice build for someone who's up and coming, man. And she went over.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, and they're building a heel. They're building Layla Hirsch's character, and in this case, she's a heel, and she did heel shit to win it. You know what I mean? She pulled the whatever it was, whatever it was.
It's like a ring wrench that you do to tighten the ropes at the.
Exactly.
So she pulled that up.
She pulled from under the ring and hit Statlander with to get the win. But the thing about it, and we had mentioned it last night when we were talking about it, after she hit her with that, she did her another move. She did a finisher, the moonsault, to get the win instead of just hitting her and then pinning her. She hit her, jumped off the ropes, did a finisher, then pinned her. That was good
in-ring psychology. It's almost like selling it for the ref to go, I don't know what happened to her, but I hit my move, so it's legit 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I
beat you. I beat you fair and square in the middle of the ring. What you gonna do about it?
No one could say anything except if you.
I'm excited to see where this rivalry goes because I like Layla Hirsch and Chris Statlander has come a long way since the first.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. It's like we're about like what halfway through year 2, started almost at year 3 with AEW, and it's like a lot of their projects. Yes, there's room to grow, but you've clearly seen they've paid attention to what works and what doesn't. And
they're going the right direction, man. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not one of those. I try my best not to be an unrealistic fan of anything, of all sports that I watch or anything that I watch. And I've never said that, I hate AEW, I'm never going to watch it. You know, I've never said that. That's stupid. I hate when people do that kind of shit.
You have said you hate Luchasaurus, though. You have to say you have.
He hadn't won me over in 2 years, so it's not going to change. He's too stiff. That fucking get out of here. But anyway, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But so the second match, Hook.
Talking about up and comers, man.
Hook. I'm here for it, yo. I like it.
Son of Taz.
I like him a lot, yo. He gotta come in. You know what I mean? His matches aren't long. It was his longest match.
At 5 minutes. His longest match.
You know what I mean? And he did his thing.
Well, he beat the shit out of QT Marshall, which we all want to see, and beat him by submission, which is always just a little bit worse than the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, definitely.
It always means a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
And besides, everyone hates QT Marshall. Everybody hates QT Marshall. He's just like, he's a heel, but he's that not cool heel. Like, you're not gonna root for QT Marshall. The Wingmen are better heels than the entire QT. Like, what's it? The factory.
Peter Avalon is a motherfucking national treasure, yo.
Dude, JD great. That entire group, I love the Wingmen. Their segments are
Peter Avalon's look. I love it.
This is goddamn ridiculous, and I'm here for it. All right.
They serve their role. They serve their role for sure.
But no, man, it's a good. They're building Hook well. It's a while before I see him in a title picture, even like TNT or Tag or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like like I said, like the AEW says they build their pillars, and their initial pillars are like Sammy Guevara, MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Britt Baker. I see the next level of under them is Hook is one of them. Like give it 2 more years, and I see Hook.
You got to them. Yeah, for sure.
Like we're solidifying these people that we brought in to make stars, and now we're starting to work on the next generation to like challenge them. And it's interesting. It's cool.
Like what? Hook, Dante Martin. They're both 20 years old, I think, 19 and 20.
Dante Martin's cool. I think it's one of those like getting pushed too hard. Like I forgot he was a part of a tag team until his like, is it his brother or he's a tag team partner with? Yeah. Brother. And it was just one of those weird things. Going, I just wasn't feeling it. Maybe now that because they're Top Flight, is that their tag team? Yeah. Now that they're back, I'm kind of excited about what that's gonna do because I just wasn't feeling Dante Martin as a single star just yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just one of those things. One of the criticisms, I guess, is they fell in love with the flippity floppity shit that he can do. You know what I mean? And just pushed it. They saw it, loved it, and was like, shit, people love this. Why not put it on TV?
Let's just keep doing it.
He just not ready for it. He just wasn't ready for it.
There wasn't enough character. I mean, look at The Rock, man. People hated Rocky Maivia because there wasn't just enough character there from them to like latch onto. It's like Ricochet is one of those few examples of just going, you have very little personality, but all your skill speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those few people I don't need like a lot of character out of Ricochet to be very impressed by Ricochet.
Yeah, for sure. And
let's move on to this. Like
it was tough for hold on just a second. It was tough for Dante Martin with me, like until you can convince me in my mind that you've legit tried to throw a punch or really tried to throw a kick on somebody, learn how to do that shit first. Then get your push. Then get all your shit together.
I will say that's an important thing. There's like an entire generation of wrestlers, like I can speak, that that learned how to do a bat flip off the top rope before they learned how to take a bump.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Yeah. And most of them are signed to AEW. Let's move on to this next match.
I love how you say I'll never say I hate AEW, but you find so many creative ways to say it. You find so many creative little ways to phrase it. You brought me back here just to insult it.
No, I spend my money to watch every pay-per-view. Why would I do that if I didn't like it? I'm not like that.
I've missed you. Come on.
That's crazy. But
let's go to the main event,
House
though.
of Black versus Death Triangle.
With Eric Redbeard.
With good old Eric Redbeard, which feels like he should be on the other team for some reason. It feels weird seeing him
I felt
as a good kind of a face team, I guess.
Yeah, I like this match. I like the House of Black. I'm a big Malachi Black fan. I was a big fan of him as Aleister Black. I kind of got in right when NXT first signed him. I got into his character as Tommy End, doing the same thing, but he was just called Tommy End. And I probably said this on an old show, but that's just one of the coolest wrestling names I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I don't know why. It just sits well with me. So I like Malachi Black. And then he runs around with this big, scary fella named Brody Lee, or Brody King.
Brody King.
And who just works. They're a really good tag team. And they just had Buddy Matthews. That's a good trio, man. They're scary. I like their promos. When they came to the ring last night, they were wearing, each had like their individual skull helmet design with like deer antlers on it. It was an intense image to cut.
Like a unit. They came out looking like a unit and together, which I like as a team, as a faction, as a trio. Yeah. Come out together. Redbeard, you didn't need your own damn engines. You ain't that good. You're like, come on,
you're not. Dude, I wanted to build that up. I'm going, he was the least important member of the Wyatt family, even when they added members to the Wyatt family.
Right.
Like, and I get it. He's like a giant tribute to Brody Lee. And that's cool. That's amazing. That's awesome. But it really wasn't that cool of a surprise for me. I'm sure there was like someone else they could have brought in to fill that role that would have made a lot more sense than Eric Redbeard. As I went, what's your connection to all of this? Like, what's your connection to Penta? What's your connection to Pac? Why are you doing this? And that was something I just had an issue with. Like, I would have much rather this been like a handicap match of going, hey, we're gonna watch Pac and this new form of Penta versus all three of them. then added Eric Redbeard to just take the pin. And maybe that's why he was there. He was there to take the pin.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
True that.
But I mean, if this pre-show was like, say, an episode of Rampage, I'd be really pleased with that episode.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
Like I was.
Now those matches were good, man. It was a good little what is it called? What they call it? Buy-in.
Yeah, they called the buy-in.
Yeah, buy-in. Yeah, no, it was a good pre-show, man.
And
for sure.
Yeah,
which led into the nitty-gritty, which led into the first show, which surprised us. I remember mentioning it last night.
It wasn't the match I'd have started with, but
and it was Jericho. But it's crazy because so I heard a couple of other people talking about it and saw some other people talking about it and everything, and they were the way they explained it, I guess, was it was good. They agreed because it was good to do that for Eddie Kingston to come and to be the first match to a hot crowd, no guaranteed cheers for one way or the other.
I know we were talking about it last night ago, and it was an odd match to start on. And the more I got away from the show, the more I was fine with it. Like I'd have much rather them had started with like the tag team match. But NXT takeovers have just gotten me to the point of going to start with a tag match. You'll always do great. And it was such a fast, it was a fast paced tag team match. But this one was solid, man. It was like two vets of the industry really throwing down at one another, doing just different, really solid hits. You had Chris Jericho, who's, I think, on his tail end of AEW. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's about to not leave the company, but maybe even just take a back seat, maybe go somewhere else for a while, maybe even just disappear from wrestling for a long period. Because, I
respect. I like that about him. Like, which he's pretty much already taken a back seat. He's not in any title contention.
Yeah.
He's not like the main story of the show, the main focus of the show, nothing like that, like he was when it first started, which
first world champion,
he should have been, for sure, which he should have been.
Yeah,
but no, I like where he's headed now. They have him in the booth on Rampage now. So,
he sits down. He's one of my least favorite wrestlers turned commentator ever, though. I hate Jericho on the desk.
He's too obnoxious, but
he yells everything.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
Bring it down just a little bit there, Jericho. Bring it down just a little bit. But this match, you know what I mean? I've been down on Jericho. Like, he looked the best he's looked in the ring his past 3-4 matches, for sure.
This is easily Eddie Kingston's, in my opinion, Eddie Kingston's best match that he's had. That had no weird stipulation. That wasn't a tag team, anything. Like, that was just kind of like him going out there. It worked across the board. The fact he won with a submission.
He won with a submission.
And it was and that was really cool. And I didn't think that was gonna happen, man. I was pulling for Eddie, but I was really going, well, this is gonna be Chris Jericho. This is Chris Jericho. But no, they gave it to Eddie Kingston. I think that was the right decision. It started the audience off on a happy note for a show that was gonna have a lot of happy notes.
Yeah. Not a lot of there were no title changes, none of that.
There was no there was slight surprises, but nothing that made me go, oh,
nothing crazy. Yeah.
But it was a good night. It was a good show of wrestling, though. Like the story, then that's what really made me. The more I got away from it, because it's a pay-per-view event. You almost want those like shocks and awes and surprises left and right. But by the end of the show, it's like going, no, this was just quality match after quality match.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
Yeah, me too. It was a good show, man. So the next match was the tag team championship match. It was Jurassic Express, Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. What you think?
Dude, this was a tight tag team match, man. I loved it. It was 2 heel groups versus a 1 face group. And, there were so many storylines working at one time. Just not only have all 3 groups wanting to be champion, you have Jurassic Express being the faces who are trying to do it. You have Red Dragons who are coming in as like champions all over the place. They're skilled, competitors. And then you have the Young Bucks vying to be the second AEW tag team champions of all time. That's cool. But you also have the outside of the ring story where Adam Cole is with the Young Bucks and he's with Red Dragon. And so they're trying to have this like alliance of going, all right, man, we'll beat up the faces and then we'll figure out who's going to be champion. And that never works. So you're just really sitting here the whole time going, when are these two going to turn on each other? Who's going to be the first? I can tell you this.
One of them accidentally kicked Bobby Fish, and then that's what did it.
Yeah. And it was great. And I thought there was a lot of good spots in here. I thought everyone did their really good styles because Jurassic Express and Young Bucks have great chemistry. Their styles are very much the same. They're both flippy, and Young Bucks, when their heels, are second to none.
Yeah.
Their face work is shabby, but their heel work is amazing.
For sure.
And I know you don't.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't like Luchasaurus. Whatever, man. You know, I'm never gonna like Luchasaurus. He's too stiff. He's not good. The mask sucks. Whatever. That's never gonna change. But
that's fine. You know,
and I don't think they deserve to be the tag team champs.
I totally disagree with you on that. I think for starting where they are to where they're at, they're an ultimate face group. Like if wrestling's about, you know, like if the industry of wrestling,
Jungle Boy is he's the guy of the group for sure.
Yeah,
every group, most tag teams has that one guy, and he's definitely the guy.
Dude, if you're just calling it right now that Jungle Boy is Shawn Michaels and Luchasaurus is Marty Jannetty, I won't argue that. I will not argue that. Yeah. You're right, because like you know, once they finally inevitably break up, I don't see a gimmick for Luchasaurus, but I see Jack Perry like really going on to greater things.
That's so it's going on. I need to just go ahead and go past this. I can't watch this. It's driving me crazy.
But I will say this: there's a lot of bits I did really like, though. Yeah, but let me throw out there, though. I loved they hit the Doomsday device in the match. I loved how they set that up. I thought that was a really cool way to do it and bring it back and pay homage. And they did it in a way that wasn't the exact same setup. Because, you know, you have Jake Perry helped on the ropes. He walks across it and then hits it. I went on, cool. That is the cool way to go. It's the Doomsday device done just a hair different.
They flippity floppied into the Doomsday device. Like, come on, man. If you're going to do it, just fucking do it.
Well, no, but take account, it's a entirely different style. You had the Road Warriors do it the first go around, who were both heavy hit muscle guys. It is going to be a different hit. On this one, it is going to be flippy. You're building that momentum. It looks cooler run out on the ropes. It's a different generation's move. I love the fact they changed it up. I thought it was great.
I hear you, brother. Agree to disagree.
Sure. Anyway, I will say this. I was surprised.
The titles.
Jurassic Express retains the titles 1, 2, 3, which they get on their own, man. They beat the Young Bucks because the Red Dragons were knocked out out of the ring. There was a lot of the problems you always do bring up with AEW of who the hell is the legal man here? And they did play that up well, where they even had to have I'm lost. Who do I pin? It's not him. Sorry. Who am I? So I think for a problem they have, they at least had a meta way to address it in the match. This also started. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Hey man. I mean, well, hey, I'm addressing it. Like if they address it, it's at least noting that there's a problem. And that's what they did. If they're actually having the wrestlers get confused on who the legal man is,
they're making a mockery of it. They're doing it just to make fun, like make a spot of it.
Well, I mean, we'll take out that stuff's not chaotic. There's 6 people rolling around, all fighting, all vying. It's like again, it's and you get great time spots out of it, like when Jake Perry was kept in the ring, Jack Perry was kept in the ring, and he goes for the hot tag on Luchasaurus, but then Bobby Fish is right there to sweep the legs and knock him down. It was well timed, but it gets chaotic because there's so many bodies flaring around. I like them as face tag team champions. It's working for me. I'm happy they left the event tag team champions. I mean, that's not. I think Santana and Ortiz need to take the belts off of them.
Don't even get me started over who should be the tag team champs, which we don't ever see them. So whatever. Good job AEW in that regard. So let's the next match was the old ladder match.
You don't just say that. Is it FTR? Is it FTR?
Of course. They're the best tag team in the world. Why shouldn't they be the tag team champions?
Good point. But again,
something's going on with them. Like they tweet. I saw Dax. He tweeted out like until further notice, FTR is officially retired or some shit like that.
Oh yeah. No, I don't see us. Like they've been. It's crazy. I don't like it. It's disrespect. No, I don't go for the Twitterverse.
Gotcha.
I don't know. JR has to keep me informed of all the Twitter stuff. I'm going, oh, that's That's
wish I was
awesome.
better
I like
with
it.
I wish I was better with all the social media. I'm horrible with that. I'm the old man.
Hey,
I'm the old grubby old man. Like, get off my professional wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
But you're the old man with a Twitter account. I'm in my 30s and go, I'm good. I have a Facebook. I'm fine. But back to the show.
But yeah, so the next match was a ladder match for the face of the Revolution with Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Wardlow, and Christian Cage. but Wardlow wins. He wins the face of the Revolution, which deservingly so, I think.
It was a good match. It was a really good combination of big guys and little guys.
It was better than I thought it was going to be, for sure. I thought it was just but I still think it was a bad idea. Just having, luckily they all got out healthy, and you know what I mean. None of that. But just the idea of those big dudes. I'm not interested in seeing them on ladders and climbing ladders. I'm not.
I didn't think about that until you pointed it out. Going, oh yeah, there's a lot of big guys on ladders, and Keith Lee is big on his like high fly and flippy stuff now. But a ladder's a different that's I hadn't thought about the trajectory of going. That's a lot of weight to fall off a ladder.
Right. It just don't make sense having them three big ass dudes climbing ladders, in my opinion. But it was a good ladder match. It was a ladder match. It was a good ladder match. It
was a good time to get Keith Lee on the show. You know, they just acquired him. I think it's his third match for the company. If it's not his third, it's his fourth. It's not. He hasn't done much, so it's a good way to get him out there on a show, use him. But he didn't really do as much as I would have expected. I mean, good. If it wasn't for Wardlow, I thought he was going to win.
Yeah, Keith Lee, he didn't stand out. Stand out, you know, which I wonder if they did it on purpose, just, you know what I mean, let the people that we have here shine more than you just got here type shit.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I mean,
I probably would have been upset if he won. I didn't think he should have won at all. A lot of people were crying for him to win. Yeah, Keith Lee.
Yeah.
But he didn't deserve to win.
He's like, again, Wardlow was my first pick because the storyline's there of like going, hey man, he's been here, he's been the hand, he's been the muscle for MJF. Let him actually have this win, let him have his moment in the sun, and it felt right. And I just didn't want anyone else in that match to win it though. Ricky Stark, maybe. Right. But no one else.
He's the shit.
Yeah, he's great. Wardlow, but what about this spot? There was a lot of good. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, Wardlow and MJF have been the best thing that AEW has done since day one. Just that story, just that story has been tied to since day one, and it's the best thing for sure.
It's been such a really good play. There was a lot of good spots, man. I like Orange Cassidy because he is. I don't want to call him a comedy wrestler because he can go. We've seen that. It's proven. His matches with Pac, his matches with Chris Jericho. The guy can figure out how to work his gimmick into a legit match. But he also knows how to work his gimmick into a legit match, and that's brilliant. Like when he knows how to do faces. When he put the ladder on his head and just started spinning and hitting people, it's like going, all right, that worked. And then when it got stopped by the two big guys who went, no, we actually can put our hands up and stop this. And then the cut right in, like you always pointed out, like the AEW needs to get crisper with their director and their editing. But that was a really good one. Of you had the two big guys stop the ladder, and then immediately cuts to Orange Cassidy's face, going, "Oh no!" Right. And then they lift it up, and he's just dangling there.
Yeah, that was a nice.
And almost went. That was really cool. That was like that reminded me more, and you probably hate it because it's that flippy shit stuff, but it reminded me a lot of Buster Keaton silent films. And how he just had the ability to be his own stuntman and do all these very dangerous things. And I went, that is a really impressive spot of going, all right, you guys are going to hold this ladder and hold it steady. I'm going to like yank my weight over, stand on top of it and go, and then drop the ladder. Yes, this is wrestling, but that's a good bit of physical comedy as well. I was very impressed.
So that was his house come down over and him standing in the doorway. Buster Keaton moment.
Yeah, that was his Buster Keaton moment. That was one of my favorite moments in the whole match. Like you said, having the big guys though, I thought it was cool to have Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs like tug of war over a ladder and then yank it apart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I thought that really showed the strength of having like, hey, we have big guys in a ladder match. What they don't break the damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool. That definitely was cool.
And then just and then Danhausen popped up in this. And you know me, man. I like Danhausen, but Danhausen almost didn't get the hell out of my televised wrestling unless he starts doing something. Does this hypnotize people thing? I'm not here for it, man. I had a lot of ideas for Danhausen in AEW, and now they're not getting them because I'm just like, what are you doing? What is this?
Yeah.
But Ricky Stark,
he appears on the damn TV during the match. He appears.
He's demonic that way, man. He's very good, very evil. And I like Danhausen. I'm very excited to see what they do. I'm very excited because he's such a cool indie spirit, man. That guy gets it. He gets how to push himself in an industry and promote himself. It's cool.
Word up. So Wardlow won the Face of the Revolution ladder match.
He gets a title shot. Well, no, because now he's going to take on
shot or the TV or the TNT title or whatever.
It's the TNT title. He gets a shot at the TNT title against either Sammy Guevara or Scorpio Sky. AKA, it's going to be Sammy Guevara because poor Scorpio.
Poor Scorpio. Hold on, wait. That pisses me off. Poor fella. But anyway, so the next match was a TBS championship match.
Well, no. We'll take down. Before we do that, man, because they signed somebody.
Swerve. They signed Swerve.
Sean Swerve Strickland, man. And I'm excited about that. He was an MLW world champion, North American champion NXT. Should have done a lot more in WWE before they cut all of Hit Row Records and just wasted all that potential. And now he's NXT's or AEW's.
AEW, yeah, that's a good one.
And dude,
I mean, it's crazy. I'm glad that it happened.
And I know you were just saying you wouldn't want Keith Lee to show up and have just won this. But if Shane Strickland were just to, beat Sammy Guevara for the TNT title, I'd be all right with that. Their characters are almost very like neck to neck to me. I could really see it be cool. I could see it happening just for like the pomp and circumstance. They're not fast.
I don't agree with the you show up and you get a title shot, or you come back and you get the challenge Adam Page for a Texas death match.
I don't mind it. And again, it'd be one of those things.
It's like Tony Khan just playing with toys. Like, this is pro wrestling. Yeah, well, let's go.
Yeah, we'll take out. People have done it a lot worse than that. And how about this? I will say Tony Khan is playing with when Tony Khan has a world title around his waist, we can have the conversation who's playing with toys.
But Mr. McMahon is the greatest heel in WWE history.
Oh yeah, dude, Vince McMahon's a great heel. I also think
he can wear that title though.
I also think he's a rat bastard human being too. So I mean, maybe you can play a great villain because you are a great villain.
Just for firing people?
I mean, firing people, the sexual harassment lawsuits, the steroid trials. Just being a real. I mean, he's a real human being. And it's a piece of shit, probably. So that's my 2 cents.
I'll let you have that one. AEW TBS Championship: Jade Cargill versus Tay Conti.
It's a good match, man. It was the shortest match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm sorry. I was just go ahead. I was just saying it was like the shortest match on the main card.
Mm-hmm. Oh, was it? Okay, I didn't even think about that. But it was Jade Cargill's best match on TV and everything. It was she's still stiff, you know what I mean? She's coming though. She's coming along. Beautiful, gorgeous. She's very well put together. Like everything about her character, the look, everything about it is there. She just got to just tighten it up and get it all.
And that'll come.
Get it all right. And it'll come, man. She's brand new. She's only been wrestling not long at all.
A year. I think just a year. And she's already like doing the whole like Goldberg 29 win. This was her 29th win. Their nets would be her 30th. She was the right person to be the inaugural TBS champion. I like the fact that her arena attire tonight or last night was Jade from the Mortal Kombat games. And who was who was the musician playing her entrance?
Oh, Kingfish.
Yeah, that was cool.
Kingfish. He's amazing. Yeah, he's great on the guitar. But what did JR say? He's like, she's come out, she's more superhero or something. JR. But then Excalibur, or Mortal Kombat.
or Mortal Kombat. It was weird though, man. Did you get that? Like Jade Cargill has been has been pushed as like the heel since she showed up.
Mm-hmm.
She was the face.
Last night?
She was the face last night. You'll never convince me otherwise. You had Ty Conti have outside interference. Anna Jay hit her with a chair. Jade Cargill with a chair. Yeah. And the crowd was totally behind Jade. So it was one of those weird things where I don't think Jade's a face. Like they're gonna start pushing her face. But I went in this match. It feels like Jade got the face treatment just because of that chair shot. You know what I mean? Like it felt more nefarious stuff was going on Ty Conti's side than it was Jade's.
But it's like you said, it's just like the Goldberg treatment. Like that's what would happen sometimes during the Goldberg match if they went long enough and everything, and he would still beat them.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah. So yeah, but, Ty, she was definitely doing the heel shit during the match for sure. Which which is weird. Which
works though. But I mean, just Ty Conti. I see Ty Conti as a heel too. So it kind of works.
Her and Anna Jay, she's going to turn on one of them, and they'll turn and they'll have a match, and that's
Thus is wrestling. Is wrestling. For sure. But no, dude, I actually really dug it. There was 3 women's matches on the card. There was the one in the pre-show, there was this one, and then there was the women's AEW World Title match, and all 3 of them were quality. You got something different out of every last one of them, and I really enjoyed this one. It really made Jade Cargill stand out as a star. Yeah, and I look forward to. This isn't a knock to her, but I look forward to when she loses that belt because I think that's gonna be a hell of a match.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, who? I'm guessing. I mean, I would probably. Well, no, I would probably give Thunder. I would probably put Thunder Rosa in the main title because I don't know if there's another female that could take the main title from Britt except for Jade. Or whatever, but yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there for sure.
I have thoughts.
So Jade beat Ty Conti for the to retain
using
the title.
Using the Jaded, which is a
mean
looking move.
She did it from the top rope too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right? I think the second turnbuckle, which was still still mean and bad. I don't want to take that.
Yeah, so now after that was the dog collar match, right?
CM Punk that was awesome.
MJF. Yeah.
Talk about match of the night.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely good. The
story was there.
I'm gonna be surprised with my match of the night, but yeah, go ahead.
It was there was a lot of we'll talk about that. I didn't mean to give away my pick, but that was the storyline was there for it, man. I thought CM Punk really CM Punk has only been bringing his game for being out of wrestling for so many years. He's been killing it since coming back. And you have someone who's like the ultimate gift of gab against someone who's the ultimate gift of gab. And these two just cut promos against each other all day long, and they're entertaining. And just the way they've been building of when you abandoned me, you were my hero. And then you just walked away because you felt like you didn't owe anything to anybody. And then the turn, like, this was great, man. You had MJF give CM Punk his first loss. And now CM Punk got the victory back in this like stipulation match that was earned. CM Punk belated early and bad.
Yeah, he was like a damn stuck pig type shit. He was leaking. When he bleeds hard.
Well, I honestly thought there might be a ref stoppage at some point with just how much dude, you were like gushing blood, it feels like. Are you okay?
Yeah.
But it was like this hard-hitting match, man, that I thought they did a good job of using the chain. Sometimes dog collar matches can just get a little bit boring, and you don't there's just whipping each other or pulling each other around. But I thought it was like they knew how to play the gimmick. You had MJF run out of the ring on one side to get away, and CM Punk pulled him back. And, MJF ran the other way. They did the same thing, and then CM Punk wrapped the chain around the pole and used as a leverage to yank him into the turnbuckle. It was really it was such a good spot.
Yeah, it was a good match, man. It was very well put together. But yeah, it was like you said. I was in the hook. I was looking forward to that match just from the shit that they had talked to each other on the microphone, and the games that they played with each other on the mics and stuff. And
yeah.
And I'm not familiar a lot with the Ring of Honor stuff, but so when his entrance and stuff came out, I didn't know what was going on until Excalibur, whoever said something about it and mentioned it. I guess it seemed that's pretty cool. I hadn't, I don't know anything about it, but that's cool that he did that though.
I knew that's what he wrestled in. I didn't know that was his music
Yeah,
on Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Right.
But and with Tony Khan just purchasing Ring of Honor, it's like really cool that he got to pay that homage to it all. And it worked because you had MJF try to do the psychological war games on CM Punk at the start of it, going, "I'm gonna play your music, cult of personality, and get the pop, and then I'm gonna come out to that." Yeah. But dude, they both bled. It was really apparent when he bled. When MJF bled, does he put his whole head under the ring to do the blade job?
They do that a lot. Like that's just one of the knocks again. The angles that
they don't try to hide anything.
They don't try to really hide stuff much, but they'll get there, man. They
But they did a good job of like selling the injuries. When Punk tied the chain around his knee and then hurt his knee, and then all right, man, can he do the GT Can he do the go to sleep? And that plays into the story when he crushed MJF's fingers and MJF just could not like clamp down anything to get a move on. Going, what can I do? They really sold the pain of it very well, and just like the grudge. It was a good blow off match, and it all worked out the way it should have with CM Punk going over, and it worked when he finally knocks him down. MJF finally gets CM Punk down, and he calls for Wardlow. That's such a perfect moment. And then Wardlow just comes like strutting down in his suit. And I love the fact that Wardlow had cleaned up after his match. Like he'd put the suit back on. You know what I mean? I was like going, all right, cool, man. You're not running down in your onesie, your leotard. You're back in the suit. And MJF
onesie.
This is his onesie. I don't know.
That was good. That was good.
Come at me, wrestlers. In your onesies. I don't know.
Yeah, but no, that was dope. And again, that just ties into their story from the beginning. And
you got a face turn.
Goes from here, and people love Wardlow, man. They've done him right. They've done it the right way with him, and
dude, it's really
goes from here.
It just worked out very well because like he has a nice face turn going into a title match against the biggest heel AEW will ever have, arguably. So it was a nice full circle storytelling. Like we didn't get a lot of surprises, but we got a lot of like progression. Like nothing was trying to like, oh, that caught us off guard because that's just what's supposed to happen, but it's supposed to happen because it's so good. Right. And like
there were a couple just surprised, like the way, not the outcome of the match, I guess, but just the way it ended. Like the surprise, like when Eddie Kingston submitted Chris Jericho. I didn't see that coming. What I mean? Yeah. When Dean Ambrose, when Mox, gets
John Moxley.
Right. So when the way he won that match, what I mean? They were just, not the outcome, but just the way they won it. Just
especially with
kind of surprises, but it was again good matches, yo. Good stuff.
What was it? I'm trying to remember the second match that had it. I might have been the women's match. Thinking about it. And it might have been like because and this side I didn't mention with the tag team title match, there was a moment where Jungle Boy took the title to the face. I can't remember who hit him with it, but someone, huh?
Yeah, I remember.
And then and he kicks out of that, and that kind of bugged me. I'm glad it says like, all right, that's a hero moment. The belt should knock you out. Someone should have to break up the pin. You shouldn't kick out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you had Jade Cargill in her match get hit in the face with a chair and then kick out. No. And I'm going, all right. And then I'm trying to remember who was. I think it was Adam Page.
Somebody threw the chair at Sammy, right? Somebody threw a chair and hit him on the top rope when he was. I think he was on the top ropes or something about to do a move. Somebody threw a chair and hit him, and he fell out of the ring. I think, right?
And I was that one sucked. But it was mainly like you had people who with these like it was mainly like I think it was the Adam Page match, the main event, and the tag team title match. Someone got hit in the head with the title, and they kicked out of it. Kicked out of it. Something about that just didn't sit right with me. Going, man.
Yeah.
No. But that's getting ahead of ourselves.
Overall, good stuff. It was overall. Good stuff because the next
one more point I want to make, man. It's just then you have Wardlow finally find the ring, the AEW diamond ring that MJF has coveted for 2 years, and Wardlow carries around and brings out to cheat. MJF can't be bothered to carry his own brass knuckles around. You know what I mean? Right. So, and so finally Wardlow finds it, puts it on there, and then CM Punk puts it on his finger, gives CM Punk gives MJF the middle finger. Damn abbreviations, as I keep confusing them now, and knocks MJ out for the 1-2-3. It was perfect. It was such a good grudge match.
Yeah, it was good. Good match for sure. And that story, you know what I mean? Like you said, is that the end of CM Punk MJF? You think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because now MJF's gonna move on to Wardlow.
Yeah.
And now it's gonna be Wardlow versus Sean Spears. Watch, they're gonna cost him his match with Sammy Guevara. And now that's gonna probably lead Wardlow into like a program with Sean Spears, working his way to MJF. MJF might finally get a title with beating Sammy Guevara for the TNT belt to kick him off going that direction. It's like, there's a lot of neat ways things can go off this that I'm excited to see.
Definitely.
Oh,
word up. So next was the women's championship. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Thunder Rosa, which I think I don't remember. Did we both think that Thunder Rosa was going to win?
Should have won.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great match.
She had to beat twice, I think, right?
Yeah. And then who was it? Who was with her? Jamie Hayter? Like,
Jamie Hayter and Rebel, not Reba.
Rebel would do the distraction.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like it was time. They brought out that new belt, that beautiful new women's belt. For a belt that had a lot of crap thrown its way, they replaced it with something that looks epic. Yeah. That is a hell of a beautiful belt.
Yeah, it looks real good.
But it just felt like Thunder Rosa's time.
Right.
And like, you know.
But I like we're gonna get a third match though, you know? I'm down with it. Thunder Rosa, which I forgot. Thunder Rosa won the first match.
Yeah.
Britt Baker, you know, like they always say, one person gets over, one person, you know what I mean, puts themselves over.
Got to have the rubber match. Because I know, I just
we're gonna get a cage match, which, you know what I mean, so they can keep the interference out, keep all the interferences out, type shit, you know. Get one on one.
What was I reading?
Thunder Rosa win.
Their AEW is going to be in San Antonio, Texas, pretty soon, and I want to say that's Thunder Rosa's hometown, or that's where they
around Texas somewhere. I know. Because
so they might be going for that hometown win, get that like home, you know, that house pop. It was a great match, man. I enjoyed it all the way around. I just felt like it was Thunder Rosa's time, and Britt Baker had ran her course. I think AEW's women's division is actually getting better and better, but I think to do that, we have to like bring up the other challengers. I think Britt Baker's done a good job carrying it forward, and now it's time to let someone else kind of push it on.
I agree. I do agree, and I did think Thunder Rosa was going to win for sure.
Oh yeah, me too.
But Britt, I just don't know. No, the women's division has come a long way. It's just nobody else right now, except for Thunder Rosa, which I think she's going to be the next women's champion. I think right now, keep it on Britt to where Thunder Rosa wins in the third match, wins the belt third match. You know what I mean? In the next,
I go for that.
Their last match.
I totally go for that. I just kind of was like going, oh, I was so sure she was going to win tonight. It was just going, oh, all right, neat, new belt. That's a good way to do it. But like, if it's going to be that hometown victory, and I won't lie, I do like the fact that this is not going into the weeds of bashing WWE or AEW or anything like that. But I always did hate that WWE has that problem of, oh, we're in your hometown, get ready to lose.
Yeah, they do that. They do that a lot.
And I feel like AEW is the opposite of that. Going, hey, it's your hometown. Get ready for a hero's welcome. And it doesn't matter who. Like, I feel like no matter what your level is, you'll get that at AEW, and I appreciate that.
Right. Yeah. No. Then I'm very excited to see because I could watch them wrestle all day. Like they're, you know what I mean. As far as the women division, they're heading. These two women and Serena Deeb are head and shoulders above the rest of the women's division.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's coming together. But yeah, they're that founding front man. Nyla Rose needs to come back at some point. She'd be really good to bring back as a threat. Where's she been? She's been gone for a while.
Yeah, she has been gone.
But talking about two people you can watch. Talking about two people you can watch wrestle forever. The next match, Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Wow.
It was a good match, which is probably my choice for. It was probably my favorite match, which is weird because I'm not a big Jon Moxley fan, but he had to wrestle. You know what I mean? He had to wrestle. It wasn't the same New Japan style death match shit that Moxley does in every match when it's not even a death match. You know what I mean? But he had to wrestle Bryan Danielson. He had to wrestle him, and it was great. And and that's what I like about wrestling is seeing people wrestle. And
I like the different styles he approaches with. I like Jon Moxley, and we were talking about this last night.
You said of who? Jon Moxley. Different.
No. But he comes from a different style, like the brawler style, the catch a can fly, the lucha style.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm not saying he has I'm not saying he's only like switch up his game by any means. He's a brawler, and that's it. Gotcha. But I mean, that's his style, though. I mean, and a lot of great wrestlers have made long careers out of being that. Mick Foley,
I'm not saying. Yeah, I agree, but he just doesn't do it as good as they did, in my opinion. But it was a great match. It was my favorite. It was probably my favorite match of the night. Just because
it was great, man. I mean, all the hard hits. Talk about two guys who just got bloody. Yeah. Like Jon Moxley almost bled more than CM Punk did during his match.
It was close.
Like I was really trying to go. Who's going to pass out from blood loss? But everything about it just kind of told that really good story.
Yeah, it's crazy you said that because JR. I think was it JR or Tony Schiavone? I think he said that once or twice during that match. It was funny. It's good.
But it was just one of those like pure exhibition matches. Like there's not a title on the line. It's just this one guy who's known world round for doing wrestling versus another guy known world round for doing wrestling, who are both ex-world champions across the board. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that, when certain matches need a title to feel important and certain matches need a stipulation to feel important, and then certain matches just need to exist to feel important.
Right.
And this was one of those where I went, cool. And I don't think we've seen this since like Jon Moxley was Dean Ambrose with the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's
seen what
like Daniel Bryan, like when like the last time these guys went into a ring toe to toe, I think it was like Dean Ambrose was still with the Shield.
In the Shield. Oh, I got you.
So I mean, so if that dates it at all,
yeah, it was a while ago, right?
Yeah,
things have changed a little bit since then, huh?
So it's like that's pretty cool that these two guys can still have their reputation come in. But as cool as it all was, the ending is what made it.
Yeah,
because like the whole buildup was like, are we going to form a faction? Are we going to form a tag team? Are we going to be the ones who teach people? And they're like going, all right, cool.
We have to bleed together. I don't tag with somebody I don't bleed with.
Hey man, I didn't care. These two guys were like going, I hate you. You know me. I hate tag teams of just two people that you two be a tag team. It works so rarely, but sometimes it does. Very rarely it does. But the fact that they're under William Regal,
that's just beautiful.
Like I don't care, man. Both those because William Regal is like a technician wrestler, but he's also a brawler wrestler. So both those guys would look up and respect him. He's like their teacher. So it's just it really. Where's that going? Where's that going? I'm so excited.
I'm really excited to see where that goes. And I like that was when he came out, I got giddy like a little little school kid, yo. It was great seeing him.
And he's just like he's just slapping the shit out of them hard style.
He's like putting face to face with his blood, with their blood on his face and shit.
Like, what are you doing? Just like talking to both down, like
which
scolding
tells
school.
The story just even more, you know what I mean? Just tells the story of how tight they are and how much he's done for that type shit where he's close enough with him. He'll get face to face and slapping them and shit that he can slap them and get away with it. That was well done. That was good stuff, man, for sure.
Like, and you're right, man. It's like it was a great show of wrestling, but it's like neck and neck. CM Punk MJF dog collar match or the Bryan Danielson Jon Moxley match, or what was the match of the night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like for me, I guess what did it, I was surprised by the Moxley Danielson match.
Yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be a fight, you know what I mean? A typical, you know what I mean, John Moxley match type shit. But like a dog collar match, it was what it was, a dog collar.
Yeah.
You're gonna see some blood, it's gonna be violent, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
that match I was shocked and pleasantly surprised by it. So that's why it was my favorite for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Because then we
And
go
Moxley
into
beating, but
with a surprise roll up.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
That was one of those things. It was shocked. I was shocked by it, but it was good. Good stuff.
It felt a little weak, like going, hey man, this is the move we have to do to end the match. I'm gonna go for it. Oh, I did not get as much momentum as I meant to. It's just all look like I'm rolling, and it didn't quite hit. It was like, I mean, it's like doing, like I mentioned, doing theater, doing anything. So we did that better in rehearsal.
Right.
And that's how that felt to me.
It was one of those, you know, I beat you doing a wrestling move.
It was just, and it's not even like a not to. It just felt like he was slow.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It might just be, you know, like you didn't think I could out wrestle you. I beat you with a wrestling move type.
Yeah,
that was cool. That was cool to see.
For sure.
So next after that was the AHFO versus Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting.
Oh,
Which, I mean, it was a good triple threat match, but I mean, I don't care, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember much about the match, honestly, except for a 60-year-old Sting jumping off the balcony through 3 tables?
Like 2 tables on top of who did he, was it Isaiah? No, it was not Isaiah Cassidy, because I thought he was dead.
Because I hadn't heard anything about that.
We'll go back to that part, because there was a reason this match wasn't fun to me. So first off, that long introduction for Darby Allin, like what the hell is that?
Yeah, get
like
the fuck out.
There's a funeral for that. I was like going, no thanks.
He dove his car into a pile of other cars and he falls out of it type shit. I'm like, stop. You're trying don't try too hard. Like, slow down, just chill out a little bit. Like, I get it.
Well, by then it's the second to the last match. I'm already tired. It's already pushing like 11:30. I'm going, really? Okay, you could have just walked out, kid. But whatever. Do your little song and dance.
Hell yeah.
That's
crazy. So yeah, I just watched Sting jump through the table.
That was insane.
Yeah, that's
it was
on Andrade. It was on Andrade.
No, it was more insane than that. When I thought Sammy Guevara and Isaiah Cassidy were dead.
Oh,
when they did that Spanish fly on top of the 2 tables, it took me out of the whole match.
That was too much. Yeah.
Like I thought, because when he landed, I thought the second table they didn't break through, that didn't break, shot up and hit like Isaiah Cassidy under the chin. Mm-hmm. And I legit thought they were injured, and it was not fun. It took, because they cut away and they stayed with Matt Hardy and they stayed with everyone else for so long that it went
so long.
Are you really hiding an injury? Now I'm not having fun. Now I'm worried. Now I'm concerned. What's going on? And they didn't really Sammy Guevara came back in at the tail end of the match, but Isaiah Cassidy I don't remember doing much.
Oh shit! Just watched it again. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, Sammy came. We saw him at the end, just coming down the aisle, but we never saw Isaiah Cassidy again.
No, yeah,
that was crazy.
I thought he was dead. It took me out of it, and I feel like that's the second time Sammy's been a part of a spot that's just like, hey man, I'm out of the reality.
Too much.
I'm out. I'm out of it. And we can say that a 60-year-old man jumping could have done that, but he did it so. You watch Sting do that, and it's so safe.
Yeah,
like
he was on top of a guy on a table, stacked on top of another table.
So it's like just breaking your fall.
But still, I wouldn't do it.
Oh fuck no!
I'm not doing that shit.
I would talk myself up and go, I'll do this, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a good match. It was a good palate cleanser match before you go to the main event, because it is just this, hey, we're going to go all over the place. We're going to throw each other off things. We're going to hit things. And I was excited to see the Butcher and Blake come out, because I like them as a tag team. And the Butcher
he looks good.
Good on you, man. That's a workout and diet plan.
Definitely.
But again, that whole...
Yeah, so Darby Allin and Sting, they won. They beat the FO, which we were talking about during the match. Like, are we going to see Jeff Hardy tonight? Are we going to see Jeff Hardy? But we did not. We did not. But
I feel like they're going to turn on him. I hope it falls apart, man. I want this House of Hardy bullshit to fall apart. I want Andrade to have nothing to do with it. I want Private Party to go on their own journey. I want the Butcher and the Blade to join the House of Black. I want Andrade to be a world champion. Ooh, Andrade.
He looks like a champion, bro.
Dude,
he just looks like a champion.
If we just can book it right, I'd be happy with him taking that belt off Adam Page.
It would take a while. It'd have to be like, yeah. Just because, you got to get him into the picture and somehow or another. Yeah.
But I'd be down for that because Andrade, man. Love Andrade LEDO.
Speaking of the championship and Adam Page, that's the last match, world title match. Adam Page versus Adam Cole.
One thing to mention before we get there, though, how Darby Allin got the pin. He got the 1, 2, 3 on Matt Hardy by nearly missing he almost missed the entire coffin drop. He hits his head on him. He
didn't nearly. Did he hit his head? I thought he might have just got his arm.
His head hits like the torso of Matt Hardy enough to say, okay, contact got made, but that's your back. Your whole back hit the mat, man. And even that fact that Matt Hardy, it was Matt Hardy, right? I want to say it was.
Oh, you're right. Because he even scooted. Remember, he even scooted over to try to help him out, and didn't.
I'm going. Kid's not making it.
I forgot about that. Good point. Hey, well done, Chase. Well done.
That stood out of going, Darby.
Well done by you,
Darby. You. That's half the ring away now.
It's a long.
I know you like to throw yourself against the ground, but this seems to be the end of the match, not a spot in the match.
Nope. Yeah, damn, I forgot all about that. Good job.
That boy's not going to be happy till he's paralyzed.
I hope not, but yeah, it's looking like it's headed in that direction.
I'll say it, whatever. But yeah, as you were saying, world title match.
Yeah, world title match. Adam Page and Adam Cole, baby, which was a great match. Good match. It was a good match, man.
No matter what happened, Adam won.
There you go. And Adam was going to win.
I loved how the audience was into on this one. They go, "Let's go, Adam!
Yeah.
Let's go, Adam!" Like they didn't even matter. They didn't. But this was, dude. Adam Cole is like the one of he's small. He's small for his stature, but he's a great heel. That guy's crackerjack timing, amazing on the mic, charisma for days.
Yeah, the way shit talks in the ring while during the match, stuff like that. I love it. He's a great heel.
I mean, it's hard. He got his name over, plus the terminology of baby.
Yeah, no need to really say more about him and his character. You know what I mean?
And at some point, it's just going to happen where Red Dragon will be tag team champions. He'll be world champion, and Britt Baker will be women's world champion, and everyone will just be like, "Oh."
You think so? You think they're gonna do that?
Why not? It's right there. Do it. Just do it.
It's right there, and they've definitely acknowledged them as a couple, at least. You know.
Oh yeah.
They won't do it in WWE anymore nowadays. With Seth and Becky, which they should, because they're basically the same character right now. But
unfortunately, tune in for another time on that conversation, because man, I got opinions. Yeah. I got loads of opinions. I have all the opinions. I don't know.
But that would be cool to see them all have all the belts and him and Britt have the belt together. That would be dope.
It'd be romantic.
I'd be here for that.
But going back to it, I am a huge fan of Adam Page as world champion. It's a run that's working with me, man. I think, the story to the build up to him getting that belt with Kenny Omega's there. He had 2 great matches with Daniel Bryan. I know it makes no sense that someone just walked up and challenged him, but it was one of those things in the story where he also got dragged into accepting the challenge. You know what I mean? Which I'm fine with. Yeah,
Adam Page, he threw the challenge out there. He was just saying, I want to fight. Who's going to come out here and challenge me type shit.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get into just, you know what I mean? It was just the fact that he came out and challenged him to a Texas death match.
Really, and this was Lance Archer we're talking about. Lance Archer, Texas death match. But it worked. It was a big monster for him to fight. You know what I mean? And we hadn't seen Adam Page take on a monster. And it served the purpose. And this was Adam Page taking on like his ex-Bullet Club brother. His like the other Adam.
Mhm.
It was just such a good.
Lance Archer was in the Bullet Club.
Mm-mm.
They were in it together.
No. I was talking about this current match: Adam Cole and Adam Page.
Oh, my bad. I thought,
Yeah. No. You're good. You're good.
Okay, I got you.
But so the narrative was really good there, man, and this is like I feel like at AEW almost at its core is a project for Adam Page to go look at this guy. He's actually a really good wrestler. And I don't like a buckshot lariat.
I'm not disagreeing with his. He's a great wrestler. Is his character? I'm not. His character is just stale for me. It just he doesn't move the needle for me. He doesn't.
I respect that.
He doesn't really look like a champion. You know what I mean? Coming out, like he doesn't do it for me as a champion. He's a great wrestler. I'm not denying that at all. Great wrestler. I just don't like his character, I guess.
I like where it's going. I'm glad he's because he's the first homegrown AEW champion. Like he's the one guy who's never been champion anywhere else, who didn't make his bones somewhere else. So I'm fine with that. It's going well. I think he's probably gonna lose. I think one more defense, and then he's gonna lose it. I don't know to who yet. I don't have like a solid opinion of who he's gonna drop it to, but Adam Page is like holding his own, man. He's like that next generation. Is he gonna make it? Is this the guy gonna be the face? And people seem to be on it, man. They're not booing him yet.
Right. Yeah, that's true. They're still, I guess, but he doesn't get big reactions like world champions normally do. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they cheered when during their entrances last night. Adam Cole definitely got the bigger cheers. You know what I mean? When Adam Page comes out, it's not like, oh shit, the world champion's here.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm really glad you mentioned that because Adam Cole has a great entrance. He was wearing a stupid fucking coat last night.
Yeah, I guess was it a video? Was it from a video?
It's like it's from like Halo. It's like Master Chief from Halo, and it like this is not a knock. Adam Cole's a small fella. He has a small stature.
Yeah,
and that coat just
he looked stupid.
He looked stupid. He looked like a child in his father's jacket.
Yeah, it looked like Luchasaurus's mask.
It's really Luchasaurus's mask. It's like, this thing does not fit well on you, does it? Just having to adjust.
But the match was good. Then of course Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly ran ringside to distract. And,
you know what I actually really like, and I've never seen it done in running to distract. Like Kyle O'Reilly was like cupping his mouth and yelling, trying to like auditorially distract Adam Page. It's like it's not like they're just running to the ring to attack him. It's going, we're here to draw your attention.
Yeah,
and I like that. Like, again, that's that in-ring psychology of like, what are you trying to show me? It's like it's that in theater, man. The whole takedown is like, what's this scene all about? What are you just trying to do? And like that was Kyle O'Reilly going, I'm just trying to distract you. Is that hitting you? Is that yelling at you? I'm really just trying to get your attention so that he can kick you.
So he can get you and do whatever he's got to do to try to get over.
Shit. I know Adam Cole has done that spot before with Ricochet at NXT TakeOver, where Ricochet was like bouncing off the ropes doing a moonsault, and Adam Cole just like crackerjack timed the kick.
His timing is perfect.
And then he did it again with Adam Page. It's so ridiculously good.
Bam. Just saw it too. Yeah. Goodness. It's good stuff. That's crazy.
It was a perfect show, man.
Perfect with those kicks.
I think one of the best things.
Yeah.
It's a perfect show. It's like one of those where if I was trying to get someone into wrestling, this is what I would tune them into. Because there's not a lot of craziness, but there's a lot of good work across the board with a lot of character. You're going to get the vibe of it. The Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson match. I mean, if someone was like who had never watched wrestling, who always walked around going, "Oh, I know what that is. That's that fake stuff, right?" They would watch that going, "This thing's a lot less. This looks more real than I thought." They were laying in every hit, every kick, every move was just laid in real because those guys will take it. All the women's matches, I've said that a couple times, were great across the board. And WWE is usually like, here's one, and it's okay. They had 3 across the board that were really impressive. They had multiple 6-man tags that played off very well. So it's not my favorite match, but Chase as like a 10-year-old when he's first getting into wrestling, that tag team title match would have been my favorite match.
Oh, really?
Easily, hands down. When I was a kid, if I was a kid reading these or watching these, that would have just been my favorite. I know it. There's so much high flying action. There were so many neat characters. There were like two heels versus the face. Like I would have loved. Like as a kid, that was my favorite match. Would have been my favorite match.
Interesting. Word up. It's crazy. I've always been the same, man. I just always like wrestling and just wrestling. I keep saying wrestling maneuvers and moves and counters and you know what I mean, that kind of shit. And that's always what I've loved. And I think the Moxley and Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson match would have been my favorite for sure.
See, I think that's what I like so much about our show. Is like we're a tug of war. I'm always like you're about like what's the technician? What's the work? What are you putting in? What are you telling me with your moves? And I'm going, what are you telling me with your promos? What's the story here that we're telling? And like I think that's it. Like Adam Page is not a showy worker at all, but the story they told
on the mic either, man. It sucks. I wish he'd be a little more confident. He's not confident, I guess.
Yeah, he's not the best yet, but he's certainly not the worst. He's
nowhere near the worst. Yeah,
no. He's not scripted by AEW or WWE. That's so refreshing. Non-scripted promos is so refreshing to see every week. But Revolution 2022 is a show I would easily recommend to people. Of like, hey, what's a good? I'm new to this. What can I watch? Check this out. You'll get something of everything.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
But no, it was also really weird.
Wasn't
it strange to see an AEW pay-per-view event without Cody Rhodes?
Interesting you say that. It was weird. It was different, and we'll tie that in. We'll save that for next episode. Huh? How about that?
Because next episode, JR, it's Where in the World is Cesaro? That's right, we're back, baby.
Hey. There's no better. Let's leave it at that, Chase. It was good to do this again with you. It was good to do this again. Sit here and just like talk about F'N Wrassling. Do it again soon, and hope everybody enjoyed it. And again, y'all subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We're gonna share it, all that good stuff. We're gonna try to stay consistent with it. Bring show every week. It's don't work together no more, but it's still two buddies talking about wrestling. That's it. That's it. For sure. Word up. We'll see y'all next week. I'm JR. That's Chase. And this has been F'N Wrassling.